said you can bury the workman, but the work will go on. You can silence the voices, but you can't stop the song.
Welcome to Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged with your host, Brain Fitzpatrick. Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged is a snapshot of the day-to-day experiences of disabled individuals as they navigate the world around us. We wish to shed light and open your eyes on a new perspective of people with disabilities. And by going unplugged, we can discuss viewpoints we hope will challenge our viewers' points of view. Most of us have disabilities we must live with, but what defines us is the way we deal with them. And now, here's your host, Brain Fitzpatrick.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Brain Fitzpatrick, bringing you an episode of Wheeling the Pathways of Life with your host, Brain Fitzpatrick. And I'd like to thank New Life Community Fellowship for giving us the footage that we used last week because of the holiday. Today I want to do things a little bit different. I want to bring something to your attention. In the title of Wheeling the Pathways, that's just a fun way of saying wheeling the pathways. Everybody has a pathway, and what they choose to do with the pathway is their decision. But the reason why I use that term all the time is because the pathway has to change every once in a while due to circumstances beyond our control. The fact that we let ourselves control our pathways, sometimes we don't have control over what pathways we have to go down. But what I mean by that is nobody is in control of their own pathway. People can make decisions about their pathways, but things happen for certain reasons, and this show is to talk about, in general, the show is to talk about the certain pathways and the certain ways that I personally and people with disabilities navigate the pathways that are given to us. Today I kind of want to bring it all home as far as, yes, I talk about the difficulties we have because we're disabled, but today I want to talk about incorporating the disability in everyday life kind of situations a little bit more so that it doesn't sound like I'm looking for any special treatment or anything. I have difficulties in regular life, just being the person I am, let alone because I'm in a wheelchair. So I want to talk to you and try to identify, try to let you guys know that everything a regular person goes through, I go through the same thing, but I also have to, I also have several other difficulties that I go through on top of being a quote-unquote normal person. Yes, I'm in a wheelchair, but I'm a normal individual as well. So one of the ways that I want to talk about that is the fact that, again, some of these subjects I may have talked about before, but I want to dive a little deeper in the situations of being a normal kid, normal upbringing, normal everyday kind of situations that I have to deal with, and kind of show you that being in a chair is a special thing, but being special does not mean you get special treatment all the time. And let's face it, anybody is special in the eyes of the good Lord. So, what I want to talk about today is, yes, I do have everyday difficulties with staff or staff coming to work, staff doing what they're supposed to do. But anybody else, let alone whether or not they're in my position, do have the same problems. How they manifest themselves may be different, but everything is normal. Everything is pretty much the same thing as anybody else. Exception, I have to be fed, and I have to have help with just about everything, but I go through the same emotions. I go through, gee, do I have to do this today? Or, real quick, I want to specifically identify with kids for a minute. And I realize we're doing this at the end of the day, and right as middle school closes and just before high school closes, so the kids can watch this on replay on Access Pittsfield if you want them to. But I understand that kids don't want to come home and have to do homework and everything. Have to go out there and shovel during the winter, or have to go out there and rake leaves, and they can go out and play baseball and stuff. But that's all stuff that I can't do as a regular person. I had to sit with my mother to read. She had to read things to me. She had to sit there and work with me, rereading subject after subject at school for homework, so I could pass the test during the day. You guys can sit down and do your homework by yourself, or if you need help, you can ask questions to your parents, but you can go into the room and open up a book and stuff like that. I can't. Everything that I do has to rely basically on other people. There's things that I can do alone for a few hours a day on a computer because I'm all set up for that stuff, but you guys are very, very lucky. Sometimes it gets frustrating, yes. You don't want to go do homework, you want to sit there and play and stuff. Everybody says this, but especially me. I would love to go out and run around and stuff, but at the same time, God put me in this position for a reason. I wouldn't change anything, but people say to me all the time, and sometimes they don't have to say it, I can just tell what they're thinking. It must be so easy for him. He gets things done for him and stuff. It's easy, but it's also hard and frustrating because I like to get up and do things on my own. But the main thing that I want to say to you kids is, if I can do everything that I'm doing in my condition, in my situation, if I can do everything I can do in a chair, there's no reason why you can't do what you need to do as kids. Now, I'm going to speak to parents for a little while. There's no reason in this world why, and yes, this is getting better, but there's no reason in this world why your kids that are able-bodied and that can do things for themselves, there's no reason in the world why they can't interact with somebody like me. Okay? When there is a situation where they have questions about somebody in a wheelchair or something, let them ask the question. Don't try and shy them away from asking the question. Because as I said in several of my shows, the only way they're gonna know is if you tell them or they ask the question they want to ask. And you know what I'm trying to say today, with everything going on in the world today, on the news and everything, we need to be more informed, yes, but we need to be more, in my opinion, and this is my opinion and my opinion alone, we need to be more connected as family. And what I mean by that is, every one of us is a human being. I breathe like you do. I eat like you do. Even though I physically can't feed myself, I still eat normal food. I still go to the bathroom like everybody else. Where I go to the bathroom is different than everybody else. But what I'm saying is we're all a human race, and we deserve to be respected, and we deserve to be respected and treated the same way. No matter what the color of our skin is, differences of opinion, there are some opinions and some lifestyles, that you don't want your kids to be involved with. I get that. But you cannot be afraid to expose and give them experiences to deal with challenging situations and learning different nationalities, different circumstances of what's going on, different ways of looking at things. We're all different people. We're not going to agree on everything. And we're definitely not going to... You know how boring this place would be if we all believed the same thing. We all agreed on everything. You know, this world would be so boring. But what I don't understand, and God can help me when I get upstairs when the time has come, but what is wrong with people being different and having the same respect as the people that are the way they are? I just don't get that. Because I'm in a chair, you know, I'm looked at as, oh, he's in a chair, So it's time to feel bad for him. Well, if you're feeling bad for me, in a way, you are more disabled than I am. Because if you knew who I was, there would be nothing. You can feel bad about the circumstances, but you cannot feel bad for somebody choosing to live a certain way, because it's a choice they make, and that's the way they are. The only person that can change their circumstances with certain things. Now, money and stuff like that, other people need to change that, but the things that I'm talking about is that people need to change their circumstances for themselves. And people need to look deep inside themselves and say, is this the way I want to be portrayed or treated? And believe me, I look at that every day. But I do not let the fact that I'm in a chair stop me from doing. Now, transportation and stuff is difficult, and situations like that, yes, I do have challenges, but that's all they are, it's challenges. Yes, I get frustrated, but there's no reason to get so mad that you alienate the people around you. It's not right. Now, I understand that we get frustrated because of situations, but we all get frustrated as a unit. Being disabled is no different than anybody else's life at all. What we do and how we do it is the difference. Now, when I come back, I will continue this conversation. We will be right back, folks, after this PSA break. Thank you.
You're the God of this city. You're the King of these people. You're the Lord of this nation. You are. You're the light in the darkness. You're the hope to the hopeless. You're the peace to the restless. You are. There is no one like our God. There is no one like you, God. Greater things have yet to come, and greater things are still to be done in this city. Come, greater things still to be done here. You're the Lord of creation, the creator of all things. You're the King above all kings. You are. You're the strength in our weakness. You're the love to the broken. You're the joy in the sadness. You are. 'Cause there is no one like our God. There is no one like you, God. Greater things yet to come, and greater things are still to be done in this city. As glory shines from hearts alive, with praise to you and love for you in this city. Greater things are yet to come, and greater things are still to be done in this city. Greater things are yet to come, greater things are still to be done here. Thank you, God, you are not done here, Lord. Greater things in this city. Oh, Lord. Thank you, God. Someday.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Brain Fitzpatrick again, continuing to bring you Wheeling the Pathways of Life with your host, Brain Fitzpatrick. And during the PSA break, I was just thinking about ways to bring this all home so you guys understand what I'm talking about. I really believe, and this is my belief, and this is the way the world should be and is in my world. And I try to live like this. The way I look at things is, if there wasn't a reason or a purpose for me being here in the situation I'm in on this earth, I wouldn't be here. God wouldn't have made me if there wasn't a reason for me to be here. I'm here right now talking to you about disabilities and the way I believe, because there's a purpose for it. Now, if there wasn't a purpose for it, I wouldn't be where I am right now. And you may be feeling depressed because after the holidays and stuff like that. And believe it or not, in some cases that can be a disability too. All right. And what I'm going to say is, of course, if you're extremely depressed or something, there's places that you can go to get help for that. Please But there are other situations where you can use maybe the reason why you're depressed and why you're feeling the way you are and have your situation is so that it can be used for other people's situations. Because I'm not saying this for all circumstances, but for most circumstances, everything that I go through and everything that you go through, there's at least one other person, maybe 2 or 3 with the number of people we have on them. With maybe 2 or 3 with the number of people we have on this earth that are going through some of the same exact things you're going through. Or they may be going through some of the exact things, but they may be handling it differently, or differently in a way that is coming up with a different result, whether it be good or whether it be bad. But we need to use our results, use our circumstances for good as much as possible. And you know what? I don't mind having a disability as long as I can use it for good and as long as I can still do what I do. It's when I can no longer use it for good, that's when I'll be like, saying, okay, God, what's next? What can I do next? Or where do I need to go to start the cycle again and help other people? If I'm not out there reaching out and at least reaching one person in this area or around the country, then I need to change my approach. Anybody in the sound of my voice, whether you think you have a disability or not, if you don't think, I'm not saying if you don't think like I do, or if something's not working, you find a way around it. Now, if my control room can zoom out for a minute, that would help. What I'm showing you right now is this is a pretty big way around certain circumstances that I deal with. Now, I can still function because of this chair, okay? If I can say I have no excuse, a regular person can do everything they've got to do. Yes, they may have disabilities, they may have difficulties they live with, different attitudes they don't want to deal with from different people. But if I can get through and get up every day and do what I do, yes, we all have difficulties. We all need other people to help us. but we also need to help ourselves too. If we don't step out and believe, well, okay, Kelsey, you can go back in. If we don't step out and try to do things on our own, we don't know where we can. You won't know, and I won't know what I can do unless I'm allowed to actually get out there and try to do something and interact with regular people. I don't sit home and do absolutely nothing every day. I plan my life around this show. I don't sit there and live my life. Oh, I'm in a chair. You know, yes, there's times when I do, but you gotta pick up, dust yourself up, and keep going. And you gotta tell people what you need, and the caregiver's gotta be able to listen to what you need and do what they can to help. But people need to quit feeling sorry for themselves and realize we all have a purpose, or we wouldn't be here in the positions we're in, or the circumstances we're in. God has a reason for it. We may not understand it, but there is a reason why we're all here. And the reason is, in my opinion, is to help everybody else. I help you, and you help me, but I'm in a chair. If you're quote-unquote normal, and you can get up every day and do everything, why don't you? I'll tell you why. Because, and I'm going to be frank with you for a minute, but if you don't do something for so long, if you don't get up every day and try to do something, pretty soon you won't be able to. Because people may think I'm being rough on you guys, but I'm just telling you, in my situation, if I felt sorry for myself every day and said, I can't do this, I can't do that, or kids say, I don't want to do homework, or I don't have anything I can do. Well, if I can do it, you can do it too. I'm not holding any punches today, but I really want you to understand that we're all in this together. And even people like me with a disability can do great things. And I am doing what I should be doing. And I'm where I am because of the greatest person that ever lived, in my opinion, and in most Christian opinions. And I'm not saying you don't have to believe what I believe, but that is the greatest He is the greatest thing in my life, and he's taught me a lot. Now, even I disagree with some of the people in the same family, but I'd rather disagree with them than be wallowing in self-pity because I'm in a chair or I can't do this like everybody else. I'm lucky that I'm where I am and in the circumstances I'm in. So basically, I'm saying two things. If you can get off your butt and do something, but even if you can't get off your butts, still do something, because if you don't do something, then why are you here? I mean, just listening to me talk for an hour is doing something. So don't think because you're laying there in the bed, in a nursing home or in circumstances not doing something. But if you can comprehend what I'm saying, you're doing something. It's what you're going to do after I stop saying what I'm saying is what I'm talking about. How are you going to use what I'm saying after I say it? Let me tell you something. If you can choose to do whatever you want, but if you don't use what you know, what you understand, and what you can do physically, better yet, what you can do emotionally for other people, that is the biggest disability you could ever have, and that is the biggest disability that's out there today. And yes, that is a disability. There are reasons for people's disabilities, but the biggest thing is identify and try to, you can't change something. Somebody very famous said, you can't change something unless you acknowledge it. And that is a very famous show that I picked that from. It's a Dr. Phil thing, but what I'm saying is so true. You cannot change something unless you acknowledge that you need to change it. And I'm telling you, throughout this whole hour and for the remaining time, I know there's things I can change. And I know because of the way I am, there's some things I can't change. And if I don't try and change them, they are the biggest disability anyone can ever have. If you attempt to try and change something, that's why you're here. That's why you have the disability you have. And that is why we are here, is to identify and help other people with their problems. Don't say I can't do anything. Don't say I don't know if I can do anything. So I'm not gonna try to do something. You don't know if you can do something unless you get up and try to do it. In my case, I drive a chair to go places and do things and talk to people. I may not be able to get up and do things, but believe me, I don't sit around and wallow on myself and say, I can't do this. So somebody did this for me. I do that with people when I can't physically do something. But anything I can do in my head, I do on my own. And if I'm doing it wrong, nobody can tell me otherwise besides people I trust. And the biggest person I trust, let alone, actually I trust a lot of people, but the biggest person I trust more is Jesus Christ. And He is why I'm here today talking to you about this. And the biggest disability is if you sit there and say, I can't do something. How do you know unless you try? That is what I'm saying. And one more time, Kelsey, pull out for me. If I can say this and live my life the way I do in a chair, if you're quote unquote physically able to, why do I feel and why have I seen people that are normal, quote unquote physically able to, don't do half of the stuff I do on a day-to-day basis? Okay, Kelsey, you can come back in now. All I'm saying is, I'm sick of hearing people say, well, bye. You can't do that. Let other people do that for you. Well, if everybody could do everything for me that I can do myself, why am I here? What am I? What is my purpose? Unless I get out there and say some of the things I'm saying. We need to love each other. We need to let people go down their pathways, but we also need to be aware that our pathways are so close together and so every one of us can make this world better. Even me, in a chair, can make this world better. And each breath I take, I am a testament to somebody who, one person watching this show, yes, you may have a disability, But there is one thing out there that you can do, whether it be just out there talking to people, whether it be somebody out there letting you smile at them or something like that. You have that purpose. Use it and make this world a better place. And I will continue to bring real shows like this and make people understand that we are human beings too. Everybody in this world has a disability, whether they believe it or not. Some of us have disabilities that are more apparent than others, but I guarantee you, your biggest disability is thinking you can't do anything. I guarantee you there's one thing in this world that every one of us can do. And it is up to you to find out what that is. And if you need my help figuring that out, you can get a hold of me at Wheeling the Pathways of Life by Wheeling the Pathways of Life Wheeling the Pathways of Life at gmail.com. Wheeling the Pathways of Life at gmail.com. Because if you need support with things that I said today, let's get a team working on seeing where people are at, getting people like me out there that can, even though we have physical disabilities, we're still members of this world, and we're here for a reason, and we need to find out what that reason is, and use our skills and figure out what we can do to help people. And just by giving information that I'm giving you, that I'm doing more work than I could ever do physically, even if I was able to do what I could do. I can do more in a chair than what I could do physically, even if I was out of the chair right now. This is my purpose. What is your purpose if you are disabled? And because you're quote unquote disabled, my challenge to you is, does that mean you're disabled at all? And I would say no. You may be different, but are you disabled? And my answer is no. You may have challenges, but that does not mean there's not one thing that you can do. And if you can find that one thing proves that you're not disabled at all. Just because you can do one thing, you can still do something. It's up to you to find out what that something is. And if I can help, please let me know. At Wheeling, if you can throw that back up again, thank you, Kelly. At Wheeling the Pathways at gmail.com. It's Wheeling the Pathways at gmail.com. And I can overcome a physical disability, or I can overcome a mental disability if we are here for a purpose. Even if you can just sit there and hold somebody's hand, that is still a purpose. Even if you can't talk very well, you can still be a sounding board for that person. You can sit there and have a coffee with them. If you are disabled, but you have a service dog for some reason, and somebody wants to pet the dog, as long as the dog isn't working at the time and doing something for you, let them pet the dog. That is serving a purpose, and that is why you are here, in my opinion. Now, in the next few weeks, I'd like to ask a couple of things for people. If anybody wants to come on and talk about disabilities and talk about ways they interact with people with disabilities, this includes the fire department, the police department, anybody from those departments, including the chief of police, including the fire chief or the inspection bureau, please let me know at wheelingthepathwayoflife@gmail.com, and we will set up a time when you can come in and do an interview, and we can talk about it. But each one of us has a job to do. Even if we've got a disability, we're not disabled as far as needing to do something and needing to feel like we have a purpose. Now, I really, really appreciate everything, and really appreciate you, and I really wanted to hit this subject, as people with disabilities often feel like they don't have a purpose in life. I'm here to tell you, you do. Just get out there and do what you can. And you have a purpose, and that is the greatest. Even if you have one purpose, that is still a great gift. And I will see you all next week. Have a great week. And I hope people get a hold of me and tell me what they want to do. And any way I can help, I will. But we all have a purpose in life. Let's work together and find it. Thank you.
You can bury the workman, but the work will go on. You can silence the voices, but you can't stop the song. 'Cause when the spirit's moving is where we'll be done. You can bury the workman, but the work will go on.